Hello everyone, if you like my video, please subscribe, like and share it for watching upcoming videos. Thank you.
Hello students, I hope everyone is in good health. Today I am going to start a new lesson, Mool Concept and Stoichiometry, in which I am going to do the first part of the lesson, that is lesson 5a, in which I am going to discuss the topic today, Gay-Lussac's law and Avogadro's law. Before I start explaining Gay-Lussac's law and Avogadro's law, we should know some common behavior of the gases, which we have already done in the lower class, that is in class 9, in the chapter Gas Laws, in which we know that all gases behave similarly under similar condition of temperature and pressure. That has been expressed by gas laws. So, gas laws are certain rules applicable to a gas with respect to change in temperature and pressure or volume. Three criteria are there: temperature, that is capital T, pressure, that is capital P, and volume. These are the three criteria which we have already learnt about them. Change in any one of them will affect the other two also. Suppose if I change the volume, other two will be also affected. If I change the temperature, other two will also get affected. This we have already learned in the lower classes. So, what is the relation we get in the Charles law and Boyle's law in class 9? In the Charles law, we get the equation P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. What is P1 V1? Pressure volume when temperature is constant. And what we derive in the Charles law, in the class 9 we have learned that V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. Because we are taking for two different gases, so we took it as a P1 and P2 for two different, where pressure is constant. By combining this law, we get the equation from the first equation, from this one equation P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. We get what? V is from, let me say, from Boyle's law we get V is inversely proportional to P when T is constant. V is equal to, this one you can take as a constant, okay, T by P into constant. So what is the result comes out? PV is equal to, so if I keep the constant there, then what happens? PV by T is equal to constant. In this way, we get the combined law here, that PV by T is equal to constant. If I take two different gases, then what will happen? PV by T is equal to P1 V1 by T1, or you can take P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. Let P1 V1 is the first gas, second gas is this one, is equal to what? K, constant. This is the derivation we get from the combining two laws, that is gas law. That means from here V1 is changing to V2, P1 is changing to P2 in the two different gases. Now coming to the standard temperature and pressure. What are the values we are going to take for standard temperature and pressure? Standard temperature pressure is also known as STP. And normal temperature and pressure, we all know that it is NTP. So, standard temperature and pressure, we will see that 0 degrees C is the in terms of Celsius or centigrade, or in terms of Kelvin, we say 273, no degree will be there, K. Okay. Now coming to the pressure, pressure can be, this is for the temperature. For the pressure, 3 units are there. If I take for millimeter, then 760 millimeter of Hg. If I take for 76 centimeter of Hg, or in terms of atmosphere, if we take 1 atmosphere, atmospheric pressure. So these are the three, any values we can take depending upon what type of relation will be given. Now coming to the next. And what is the value of the absolute scale? Let me explain this. Absolute scale is what? What is absolute scale? The temperature scale with absolute 0, that means 0 Kelvin as the starting point. 0 Kelvin will be the starting point. What will be the 0 Kelvin means 0 K will be how much? In, if I compare with the degree centigrade, minus 273 degrees centigrade. Please remember this. This is very important and will help you out at the time of numerical solving, and this also will help you out in the numerical solve. Okay, students? So 0K is equal to minus 273 degrees centigrade, or 0 degree centigrade is equal to 273 K. Now, what is this stoichiometry? What is actually it is? In the analytical chemistry, how can you define stoichiometry? Stoichiometry measures what? Quantitative relationship. Now, stoichiometry measures quantitative relationship and is used to determine the amount of reactants needed or the products produced in a given reaction. Students, you must have remembered in the analytical chemistry we are dealing with the which relationship? Qualitative relationship. That means it tells us what are the given ions present there, and this quantitative will say how much the product and the reactants will be, how much will be taken by us, what is the exact amount we will take, and what is the exact amount of the products have been produced in the given chemical reaction. That is being done with the help of stoichiometry. Okay. Now let us see Gay-Lussac's law. Now Gay-Lussac's law of combining volumes. Now Gay-Lussac is a scientist. He observed a simple relation exists between the volumes of two different gases. He took an example that in the formation of water, hydrogen and oxygen are getting reacted. Okay, hydrogen and oxygen when react with each other, they form the water. Okay, now in this ratio we find that 2 volumes of hydrogen, 1 volumes of oxygen react to give 2 volumes of water. So what is the ratio? You can write here what is the volume of the 1 and this is 2. So what is the ratio in which they are bearing, the full reaction is bearing? 2 is to 1 is to 2. So they bear a simple ratio 2 is to 1 is to 2 when the gases reacts in volume. But what is the condition we have to maintain? Under the same condition of temperature and pressure. So he named it as a law of combining volumes. Law of combining volumes means the two gases are getting combined with the help of their volumes and they bear a simple ratio when they are reacting with the product. Okay. So he deduced a law, and the law says that when gases reacts, they do so in volumes. When the gases react, they do so in volumes, bear a simple ratio, okay, to one another and to the volume of the gases of the gaseous product formed. Yes, they bear a simple ratio to one another and the gaseous product which is formed, and provided all the volumes will be measured under the same condition of temperature and pressure. All will be measured under same condition of temperature and pressure. Then only this will satisfy the law. But it has some limitation. What is the limitation? Limitation is it is applicable only for gases. It is valid only for gases. The volumes of solid and liquid, it is not applicable. It is considered to be 0. For solids and liquid, it is considered to be clear. So it is applicable only for gases. Let us take some example. Formation of carbon dioxide. 2 volumes of carbon monoxide reacts with 1 volume of oxygen. You have to make a balanced reaction. Gives 2 volumes of carbon dioxide. This is the balanced reaction. Now let us see what are the volumes of them. Already we can see the volumes. 2 volumes of carbon monoxide, 1 volume of oxygen reacts to give the product 2 volumes of carbon dioxide. What is the simple ratio they bear? 2 is to 1 is to 2. So this is the ratio they bear. Okay. Similarly with the formation of ammonia also you can do N2 plus nitrogen and hydrogen gives what? It is a irreversible reaction, gives ammonia. Now you balance it. N2 plus 3H2 is this. Now what is the volume will be there? 1 then this 3 volume, this 2 volume. What is the ratio? 1 is to 3 is to 2. They maintain this ratio, and it is a simple ratio they maintain provided they are measured under the same condition of temperature and pressure. Okay students, now we will see Avogadro's law. What is Avogadro's law? Avogadro is a scientist. He put forward a hypothesis based on the relation between the number of molecules. So, number of molecules in equal volumes of different gases under the same condition of temperature and pressure. If the gases reacts under the same condition of temperature and pressure, equal volumes of all gases under the same condition of temperature and pressure contains same number of molecules. Let us see. So, how Avogadro's law can be defined? Equal volumes of all gases under same conditions of temperature and pressure contains same number of molecules in them. So let us take some example of this, otherwise it will be not possible to understand this. Suppose I have taken 1 liter of hydrogen gas, okay, contains the same number of molecules as they are present in 1 liter of. If I take oxygen, but the volumes are what? Equal. Maybe they are different gases, but their volumes are different. That means if I maintain the same condition of temperature and pressure, they will contain same number of molecules in them, provided the volumes of. Then what happened? Then another gas also you can take, 1 liter of chlorine. Okay. Now what is the similarity between them, the 3 different gases? 1 liter. Their volumes are same. So equal volumes should be there, then only they will contain same number of molecules. The molecules will never differ from each other if you change the variety of gas. Types of gases is not the factor for it. Okay. Now like this we can say a molecule of nitrogen is made up of atoms of nitrogen. Molecules of nitrogen is made up of how many atoms? One molecule of nitrogen is made up of 2 atoms of nitrogen. Contain 2 atoms. A molecule of ammonia. Now similarly with the ammonia is a compound, is made up of how many? 1 atom of nitrogen and 3 atoms of hydrogen. Okay. And in this way he made the following distinction between atoms and molecules of a gaseous elements. Now we know what is atom, what is molecule. Atom is the smallest particle of a matter or element which contains all the characteristics of that particular element. Okay, but can take part in a chemical reaction but may or may not exist in a free state. What about molecule? Every definition will be same, but they always exist in free state. Now what about atomicity? Atomicity means one molecule of a element contains how many? One molecule of an element, how many atoms it contains? That means its atomicity is what? 2. Nitrogen atomicity is 2 because it contains 2 atoms in it. Similarly, with the atomicity we know in the lower classes we have learned in details that atomicity are of different types. Monoatomic, which contain 1 atom in, like all the inert gases you can take, helium, neon, then calcium, potassium, all these are monoatomic. Now diatomic, all the gases present in the air you can take, O2, N2, contains 2 atoms in there, Cl2, like this, so many gases you can take. Now coming to the triatomic, you know one molecule is there, that is ozone. Okay, 4 tetraatomic, you can take it as a what? Tetraatomic you can take, or as a polyatomic you can name it. More than 3 you can make it as a poly. Poly means many. So tetraatomic is the phosphorus, you know, P4, and under the poly these 2 are coming, and octatomic, that is 8, that is the S8. S is having 8 atoms in one molecule. It's coming under variable valency. We will proceed with small numericals based on Gay-Lussac's law and Avogadro's law now. Let us see. Now students, see this first numericals based on Gay-Lussac's law. And this type, before I start this numericals, you will see in your book also some solved numericals is also there, exercise numericals is also there. So try to practice those numericals in your home copy. And in the due time, I will give in the PDF all the exercise question, in-text question. So practice from there also. Review them nicely. Now let us see what is the first question tells us. What volumes of oxygen would be required to burn completely 200 milliliter of acetylene? Acetylene is C2H2. It is a hydrocarbon. And what would be the volume of carbon dioxide formed? So for this, first we have to write the balanced equation of this. So what is the balanced equation will be? Acetylene when burned in what? Air, that is oxygen, gives two byproducts, carbon dioxide and water vapor. Water vapor is in the form of vapor, so we cannot take it as a gas. So what will be the volumes of them? Let us balance it now. Okay, so we get a balanced reaction. It is now balanced. Okay. After balancing the reaction, let us see their volume, because you know Gay-Lussac's always deal with the volume which bears a simple ratio. So what is the volume of each reaction? You see 2 is to 2 volumes, 5 volumes of oxygen, then 4 volumes of carbon dioxide and 2 volumes of this. But it is in the form of vapor, so it will be 0. So it will be nil, or you can write 0. Okay, that is, because you know it is in the form of vapor, water, so you cannot consider. Now what will be the step? You have to write the first step is the according to which law we are proving this, and what is the ratio they are bearing? They are bearing the ratio 2 is to 5 is to 4. Now let us see according to Gay-Lussac's law. We will see what are the values. Okay, what is the Gay-Lussac's law tells us about from the reaction we will see. 2 volumes of acetylene required 5 volumes of oxygen to produce 4 volumes of carbon dioxide. This thing you have to write. 2 volumes of acetylene requires 5 volumes of oxygen to give or to produce 4 volumes of carbon dioxide. Okay, now let us put this. So since acetylene volume is given, so acetylene will come this side, because we need to find out the volume of oxygen. So 2 volumes of C2H2 requires oxygen, how much? 5 volumes. Clear? So 1 will give how much? 5 by 2. And how much is given in the question? 200. So 200 will give how much? 5 by 2 into 200. So it comes out into 500 milliliter of oxygen. Clear it is? Now second part will be here, that how. Now we will see what is the production of carbon dioxide from acetylene. 2 volumes of C2H2, that is acetylene, will produce, according to the reaction, 4 volumes of carbon dioxide, because balancing reaction we get 4. Now 1 will give how much? 4 by 2. So 200, according to the question, will give 4 by 2 into 200 equal to 400 milliliter of carbon dioxide. One more question I am solving with you. Rest of the question you try to solve from the exercise in your home copy. Now see students, the question number 2 tells us if 6 liter of hydrogen and 5.6 liters of chlorine are mixed and exploded, what will be the composition by volume of the resulting gaseous mixture? So let us write the balance equation first. 1 volume It is one volume and gives 2 volumes of ACl. You can write here 1 volume, 2 volumes. Okay. Now, since 1 volume of chlorine is mixed with 1 volume of hydrogen to give 2 volumes of hydrogen chloride. This is according to which law? Gay-Lussac's law. So, according to the question, how much chlorine has been given? 5.6. So, right here, according to Gay-Lussac's law, since 1 volume of chlorine reacts with 1 volume of hydrogen. Okay. Now, how much is given in the question? 5.6 volumes of chlorine will also react with how much? 1:1 is the ratio, so it will also react with 5.6 liters of hydrogen only. Same. Okay. But according to the question, how much liters has been given here? 6 liters of hydrogen has been given. So right here, according to the question, 6 liters is there, but 5.6 has been produced. So 6 minus 5.6, that is, what will be? 0.4 liter of hydrogen is what? Remains unreacted. Now let us see the second part. Now, what is the production of HCl? Twice. So you have to write here, second part is what? Since the volume of HCl gas is formed twice that of chlorine used, twice that of chlorine gas is used. Therefore, what is there? Volume of the HCl will be how much? Twice that of chlorine, and chlorine we know how much is there? 5.6. So, volume of HCl will be how much? 2 into 5.6. Therefore, how much it is coming? Just make it 11.2 liters. Okay. So, what is the final answer comes out? 11.2 liters of HCl produced or formed, and 0.4 liters of hydrogen remains unreacted, okay, as residual gas. Okay, students, so like this you practice at home. All the remaining numericals from the solved also you can do, from the exercise also. The more you practice, the more the perfection will come in your work. And the exercise questions, the in-text question, all question answer along with the answers I am going to give you in the due time in PDF form. Now let us see one numerical from the Avogadro's law. Let us see the next question based on Avogadro's law. Let me write the question first. Now the question says, if 50 cc, that is the volume they are saying, if 50 cc of a gas A contains how much molecule? Y molecules. How many molecules of gas B will be present in 25 cc of B under same condition? Under same condition means what? That means they are under the same condition of temperature and pressure. Let us see. We know that under same condition of temperature and pressure, whatever the gas will be, if they contain same volume, then they contain same molecule. If the volume will be half, then the molecules will also be half. If the volume will be double, then the molecules also will be double. Okay, so it depends upon that. So let us see, here we find that the volume has been halved in B. So let us write the answer. 50 cc contains how much molecule? Y molecule of A. Okay, the gas A contain Y molecules. So therefore, of gas B, how much it contain? 25 cc. 25 cc of gas B will contain how much? Half of that. Half of 50 is 25. Contain half of it. Half of it means half of 50 cc. Therefore, 25 cc will contain how much? Y is the molecule. Let Y is the molecule. Y by 2. Okay. But if the gases A and B contain both 50 cc, then they will be containing same number of molecules. That is only Avogadro's law. Okay, students. So try to practice the exercise 5A in your home copy. In the due course, I will give the PDF, all the question answers. So keep practicing, keep learning, and be in good health. Have a good time. Thank you.